Hello and welcome back to Emily Rose Sews. My name's Emily and thank you so much for joining me as I chat through what I've got on my hook or needles at the moment. Grab yourself a cup of tea or your favourite drink and a project to work on, and I'm going to chat through the things that I've finished recently, the things that I'm still working on, and I've also got plans for another project that's upcoming. So get comfy and join me as I chat you through. Let's dive straight in, shall we, with my finished object. Oh, I'll reach it. That is my ripple blanket. So this is my ripple blanket, and you guys will have seen it as a work in progress for a little while now, but it's all done. It is washed, dried, ready to go, and I just need to wrap it up and pop it in its box, ready to go. I am so pleased with it, really pleased with it. It looks really pretty. I did the same border that I did on the blue one, the boy version, which is really sweet. It's got a round of V stitches. Let's see if we can get it a bit closer. The white's going to make it really tricky, isn't it? So it's got a round of V stitches first in here, and then these almost scallops, but they're sort of pointy scallops. So yeah, really pleased with that. It's the pattern that I made up entirely. It's kind of a normal neat ripple blanket, but it goes in repeats of 3. So you do treble 3 together, then 3 normal trebles, then 3 trebles in the same stitch. And then I do, each colour stripe is 5 rows. So the middle row I add some chain spaces to, just to give it some texture. I am in love with it. I love the colours of this. The only colour that's repeated is that pink one. It's got pink at either end. Other than that, it's just got one stripe of each colour. So yeah, love that. Ripple blanket, finished. Okay, so the ripple blanket's off to its new home very soon. I need to make another version of that ripple blanket, so I need to replicate that blanket entirely for one of my other orders. And I have another couple of ripple blankets, they're on the go. I've got another girly one that's due any time now, so I'm doing really well with that. Let's introduce that as another work in progress actually, shall we? So this is that ripple blanket. Ooh. So that's coming on really nicely now as well. I think this was much smaller when you saw this one last. This is exactly the same colours as the other ripple that's got the texture parts. Exactly the same colours. I've just done it slightly differently in terms of the depth of the stripes, and it's got no chain spaces in. So this is the Attic 24 Neat Ripple Blanket. One of my absolute go-to patterns. I love it. So that's my other ripple blanket. My ripple blanket is currently living in a project bag that I made, which I really love. It's just a very plain, boxy project bag, and I put a really handy tag on this. My mum suggested it, and I couldn't really work out why I needed it, but I pick it up by this tag all the time. And this is actually using a really cool zip, and that's from Purple Stitches. Now, I would never have picked up a black and white stripy zip before and thought that was my kind of zip, but it works really well. It's got the actual zip on it is gold. I just think it looks really cool. And it doesn't, you don't look at it and think, wow, look at that leery zip. It actually matches. I don't know how it works, but it works. So I love that, really love it. And while I made that one, I had some leftover fabric. So I also made a little mini version. So this is a tiny version of exactly the same bag. It's got some longer stripes of fabric in rather than just the squares, but I've still quilted it in a grid, and the same zip as well. So it's just a mini version of the same thing. It doesn't have the side tag on actually. So in this little tiny project bag, am I zipping something into the zip? I think I am. Oh no. In my little tiny project bag I have Mabel's sock, which has hopefully grown a little since you last saw it. which is very cool. I'm really enjoying this. I definitely want to get back into the short circulars. I am liking the magic loop. It is one of my preferred ways to knit in the round for small projects like this, but I was just really getting into the magic, into the short circulars before. This is just too small in terms of how many stitches it is. But I mentioned this last time, I do feel like I spend so much time moving the needles around. So yeah, I'm looking forward to moving on to an adult size sock. That will hopefully, I have to sort of switch around less, but it's looking really cool actually. When I got to this point and couldn't see past it, I was worried that the red and brown was going to ruin it, but now that you can see there's more purple in it, I'm much happier with it. So she's tried it on. It does, if I were to add a toe now, it does actually make it sort of quite a short ankle sock. So I'm probably going to add another 1.5 to 2 inches, because she's told me she wants it to be a short sock. I think currently it wouldn't be much bigger than a trainer sock, so it does need more than it's got. But I'm not going to add much more to it. Probably, yeah, maximum 2 more inches, I think. And then I'm going to do the toe, and I'm going to attempt an afterthought heel, which I've never done before, so that could be interesting. But that is living in my little mini project bag that I made. Now, I decided that I want to make some more socks, but I don't think I'm at the stage where I'm confident enough in my own skill level to use a pretty hand-dyed yarn. But I did want a yarn that I'd gone out and chosen. My mum really kindly gave me a small selection to make some socks for Mabel, which I'm really grateful for. But I wanted to go out and buy and choose some sock yarn because I want to love some socks. And I went on Wool Warehouse and found that their sock yarn was a really good price. Well, it's not their sock yarn, it's Drops yarn. And ended up using a discount code as well and got a lot of sock yarn for not very much money, which is obviously lovely. I got 4 plain colours that I can hopefully use as sort of contrast heels and toes. So this is all Drops Fable. So these are the first 3 contrast colours. Drops don't tell you the colour name, unfortunately, are just the numbers. This one is really pretty. That's colour 104. I have to look up the names of them. This one I'm sure is just like an off-white. I'm sure it's called something like off-white. It's number 100. And this is a really nice dark, almost like a candy pink, 102, that one. And there should be one more in here. This one is 120. This is a much lighter pink, obviously. I also bought some variegated and speckled yarns to make some socks with. So, this is the first colour I got, which is, again, Drops Fable. This is colour 924. And I thought with the purple, that would make a really nice combination. It's got sort of purples and blues in it. So that's the first colourway. I got this one, which I'm not going to lie, I am a little bit disappointed in. Oh, it looks nicer on screen. It's actually pretty dark in real life and it's quite brown looking. It might actually brighten up if I was to put it with something bolder. Yeah. It looked a lot less brown on the website, so I was slightly disappointed. This is probably the one I was most disappointed with. It does look nice with that, actually. We'll see. It might look nicer knitted up. So I got 2 of all of these. I love this one. It's sort of blue, lilacs and pinks. So this is colour 929. And again, this would look nice with any of these colours that I got as contrast, really. It's quite nice with that purple again, doesn't it? But then also a nice bright pink would look nice with it. Oh, my tummy's rumbling. Or a light pink. They all look really nice. Oh, that's nice. So that's the third colour. I got 931, which is predominantly an off-white colour with purpley pinks in, but it does have little splashes of green. So that's pretty cool. And finally, colour 930. So these are all Drops Fable. I haven't told you what they are, have I? What are they? They're 75% wool and 25% polyamide. So that is my incoming stash of sock yarn. I was really excited. It was very fast delivery from Wool Warehouse, actually. I must say I'm very impressed. They went through a phase of not being very fast to get things out to you. They used to be fantastic. Then they went through a bit of a slow phase, but then they've definitely picked back up again. So I don't know what I'm going to make yet. I am determined to finish Mabel's socks first, but just look at that gorgeous bag of delicious yarn. Those two, they do look good together, don't they? Okay, so they are ready for some more socks when I get the chance. I do want to finish Mabel's, but I am really looking forward to getting a pair cast on some short circulars. So that will be coming. I'm tempted to try a different pattern, although I'm not sure what yet, because I've only ever done these two socks that I've done, which are plain vanilla socks. I am trying the Afterthought heel, but I'm tempted to try and put some sort of pattern down the leg of the next sock. Probably nothing too busy, because obviously I would use that speckly variegated yarn, but I'm tempted to put some sort of pattern or texture in. So if you have any ideas of something that's basic and simple, that's not like a complex, tricky pattern to remember or work through, and that would work with any kind of heel, please make your suggestions below, because I would be really grateful to hear from you. What's next? Oh yes, okay. There was quite a debate, actually. Well, no. I was debating what to do with my Tolsta tea. My Tolsta tea is something I've had on the needles actually not very long, but I wasn't in love with it. And I remember showing it last time and I was like, I don't know why, but I don't love it. I like it, but I don't love it. Well, I'm loving it more now. I decided to keep going with it. I'm going to try and hold it up without the needles losing stitches. I decided to push on to the point where I could try it on, because I figured that at that point I would be able to tell pretty quickly whether I wanted to keep it going or not. So I did. I carried on going. I got to the point where I split for the sleeves, and I'm now knitting down on the body. You can see the bottom of the sleeve is here. So I've only done about 1.5 inches so far underneath the sleeves, but I am liking how it's looking now. It's got short row shaping to the back, so the back does sit higher than the front. And then I've split for the sleeves. At the point of, before I took the needles off and put them on the stitch holders, I put one of the cable extender things in. I have no idea if I did that properly, but basically it pushed on to the end of my needles. So I just connected these and was able to slide the stitches, open all the stitches out, and I slipped it over my head, and it actually sat really nicely on. It seemed to fit quite well. As well as a garment can do before it's got any sleeves. So I decided to go with it, and I'm really enjoying the process. I wasn't hating the knitting. There was nothing hard about it. There was nothing I didn't like about the actual, like, the pattern I was following or anything. It was so simple. Like I said before, I couldn't tell you why I didn't like it, but the fabric is really nice. It's very soft and drapey. Yeah, the stitch count and everything was right. Everything was fine with it, so I'm not sure why I wasn't loving it, but yeah, I've got it down to the point where I'm just knitting the body now. So I'm just going to knit round and round and round, and the sleeves only take, I think you only need to add about 1 centimetre or 2 in terms of the sleeves. They're going to have quite short sleeves on them, and then it's just 1.5 centimetres of rib. So by the time I've knit round and round and hit the length that I need to hit, it won't take me very long at all to finish it. So yay. Yay. It's going okay. Tolsta tea, split for the sleeves, and I'm making the body. I might not wear it loads, but my thought process was, I learnt loads doing the back row shaping. I've learnt how to do a make one left and right, and how to do that purlwise as well that I needed for the short row. So I've learnt lots. I've never made a garment before. I've never had to split for sleeves, and I've never had to use the cable, long cable, like stitch holder cable. So I've done loads in terms of learning processes for garment knitting. which I'm pleased with. And I love the colour. The yarn is really soft. So I thought, do you know what? Why wouldn't you finish it? So I'm just going to do it. And I actually want to reach for this, to pick it up all the time now. I'm really, really loving knitting it. So I'm really pleased I persevered. What's really interesting is that I basically went against what people said, which I felt really silly for, because I asked for your opinion and I had a few messages, people saying, Emily, if you don't love it, just frog it. And I very, very nearly did. And I was like, yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I do. I need to frog it. Yep. And there was something that made me think, why? Why are you frogging? And I couldn't really answer it. So I decided to go with the flow, and I'm really pleased I did. So yes, hopefully soon that might be on the finished objects pile. But for now, I'm very pleased that I've continued and I've persevered with it. When I was in Norfolk at the East Anglia Yarn Festival, I bought some Yarnlings. And for those of you who haven't seen Yarnlings or heard of them before, they're by Eden Cottage Yarns. And they're basically, I actually don't know how much they weigh, which is silly. They're teeny tiny little balls of yarn. Small, I'll put some pictures in, I don't have them here. Tiny little balls of yarn. They're like yarn sweets, they're really sweet. And my mum was buying some, and I was sort of stood watching her and was sort of looking around. And then I spotted that Victoria from Eden Cottage Yarns had made the most gorgeous little cowl out of her Yarnlings. And I saw them hanging above this big box of Yarnlings, and I thought, oh, actually, I wasn't going to get any, but I love that cowl. So I decided that maybe I should get myself some more Yarnlings. And I have crocheted them into a cowl. And the pattern that Victoria has is called the Cloud Cowl. So this is my little cowl. Now, as always, I'm having issues. Not because there's any issue with the pattern or the yarn, but I laid out these colours and they looked really good with the Yarnlings all balled in a row. Now, I don't love it. So I have ordered myself some really pale lilac mohair, and that's why I haven't sewn in all the ends. Look at them. What I think I'm going to do is undo this, because I do love the colours. The Yarnlings look gorgeous together. I think I might undo them, hold them double with the lilac-y mohair, and slightly switch up the order of them and try again. I do want them to be a cowl. It fits nicely, it feels nice. There's nothing else about the cowl that I don't like. It's the colours. And for me, it's these two, the pink and the purple, should not be together, which is weird because in the balls they were fine. And this ambery, well, no, it's not amber, is it? Peach. The peachy one, I think, throws it off. So I'm going to hold it with, well, I've bought a really pale lilac mohair and an off-white mohair. It's just the Drops Kid Silk. But I think holding it with something will just make it slightly more pastel and a bit less leery, because it is a bit clashy for me. So yeah, I mean, I literally crocheted it up of an evening. It didn't take long at all. So hopefully once I get the mohair, I can get that sorted fairly fast. It's a shame, look, because they do look nice together, don't they? Look, there's nothing about the colours that, and those ones, I think it is the end, look, because even those ones look nice together. It's those, isn't it? Maybe I'll add something else in instead of those bottom ones. It's those two that don't look right. Or even just the last one, maybe. Is that pink? I'm not sure. Something's not right, and I won't wear it because I don't love it currently. But I don't think it will take much to fix it, so I'm going to undo it. Undo it, ball them back up into your little tiny Yarnlings. Hold it with a mohair. See how that looks. So that is another, well, it's a current work in progress. It's to be frogged and then to be back into another work in progress, I believe. And a couple of things that are upcoming. I have found a really gorgeous yarn that I loved, that I didn't buy at East Anglia Yarn Festival. I saw it on 2 different stands. It's actually the Knit Pro Symphony yarn. It's the sock base one, Terra, I think it's called. and I've ordered a cream with a sort of selection of colourful speckles in. Well, it's like an off-white, I guess. It's quite white. So it's an off-white with colourful speckles. So I've ordered that and some more off-white mohair. So I think I'm going to make my first ever Sophie shawl. I know I've got the crocheted one that I was making that I still haven't finished. But I have ordered, yeah, the sock yarn. It felt incredible. I found it on a couple of stands at the festival and felt it, and it's really lovely yarn. And it's also only £13.99 for 100 grams. I guess that's part of it being a commercial yarn, is that it's less expensive than small businesses. And I like to support small businesses. I've got a separate vlog that's either going up or gone up of my purchases at the Stitch Festival in London and East Anglia Yarn Festival, and you'll see that I did support small businesses and I have bought some lovely hand-dyed yarns. But yeah, there's something quite appealing about £13.99 for a skein of really soft sock yarn, so I'm going to hopefully make that into a Sophie shawl. I'm not sure how big it will make the Sophie actually. I know there are 2 sizes and I'm not sure whether one skein of sock yarn is enough for the bigger one. So I'll probably make the small one, I guess. So that's something that is coming up hopefully. And finally, I have seen the sweetest little pattern. It actually popped up on my Instagram feed and it is a little sort of sock style cover for Apple AirPod cases. And it's the tiniest little thing. It's a really dinky little case. And it's made very much like a sock would be, a traditional top-down sock, where you knit a little bit of rib that will be folded over double. And then you do a couple of decreases. No, you do a couple of increases for the top. And then you just knit round and round for the body of the pouch. And then you do a couple of decreases and just Kitchener off the end. And I'll see if I can pop the photo in actually from the person who posted it. It's adorable. And it's been on my mind ever since. My mum sent it to me. And I've chosen a couple of yarns for it. I'm going to do the rib in this nice purple. These are tiny mini skeins that my mum bought for me. I actually don't know. They haven't got any information with them. There's no label, so I don't know what they are. So that's the contrast that I'm going to do for the rib. And these are the 2 candidates for the actual body. Look at that. Yum. So that's one option. I think that looks so good. Option 1 is those 2. And then the second option is slightly more off-white. It's got less of the deep purple in, but still gorgeous. I think that is also really pretty. I think I'm leaning towards the other one. And I think the purple in it will make it slightly more durable, because I think the other one is pretty white and that might be tricky in terms of it being chucked in my bag all the time. So that is my next upcoming project. It's a teeny tiny little AirPod case sock. I think that's everything I've got to talk about here. I can't see any other projects around me that I need to mention. So I guess that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you get lots of time to sew or knit or crochet, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Thanks for being here. Bye.